Hi YouTube, it's Alan. It is February 26th, 2021, and I am 6 2/3 years on testosterone. And I haven't made a video in a very long time. I'm sorry about that. Just been busy and not really in touch with the whole YouTube thing. But I do want to go back and take a look at some people's videos because, I do think of the other trans people on YouTube from time to time and wonder how people are doing. So yeah, and you might be wondering, why am I all bundled up? That is because I had the kind of classic pandemic experience of just getting back from hanging out outdoors with a friend. And it was cold. It's just about dinner time, so it was dark out. I'm warming up a little bit, and let's jump into some tea update stuff. Can start with the top. For one thing, you can see definitely going towards balding. I gave myself a buzz cut a few weeks ago because I've been doing my own haircuts in the pandemic, and I had been doing them like sort of like tapered, but the last one I was like, that's too much trouble. I'm just gonna do it pretty much all one length. So yep. So yeah, I think you can see the lack of hair on the top. And this here, which used to go out more, seems to be going. And I'm getting more gray hairs, though that's, of course, just an age thing. I'm 38, getting closer to 39 now. And I mean, age is just another element of my changes at this point. I mean, that's really the main agent of change, I think, because I think all guys get less head hair and more body hair as they age, and that is what I'm experiencing. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, but I mean, I can go into more detail. Like, I have more facial hair as time goes on. I kind of keep it like this. I trim it every week a little bit, but it pretty much always looks something like this, sort of a semi-goatee kind of thing. Because, I mean, I would like to have it like this length, like all over, but that is not possible. It's been, so I shave the sides semi-regularly, which means basically like when I see my girlfriend. And I have not shaved the sides for a week. So, you can't see very much. Obviously, there is, as has always been the case, there's more on my left side. I can't quite tell if you can see, but yeah. It's like a little bit reddish, which I like. And something that I wanted to share about the whole shaving thing is that I reflected on how before transitioning, like when I tried out shaving my face just to see how that felt to me, it felt really like exciting and like really resonated with me on a deep level, even like physically, as I think I told about in an old video. And then I can't remember if people said or if I just wondered, like, well, maybe it's just the novelty, and once you get used to it and once you have to do it, it'll feel like a chore, and so that initial excitement and deep feeling of resonance might not actually mean anything other than novelty, but that's not really the case. So now, having been shaving my face for years, like, yeah, it does not have any novelty, and it does feel kind of annoying. Like, I mean, I only do it when I kind of need to. Um, I I don't, yeah. So anyway, it doesn't have that novelty like, ooh, I want to shave, but it still feels very right, and it just goes to show, or I've experienced that doing something that might be kind of annoying or like a chore, it still feels very different if it is something that's right for you versus something that is not right for you. Like, shaving feels very right to me, and it makes me feel good, even though it is a little bit of a chore. Whereas in my past, the more standard, like feminine or female things did not feel right to me. So it is very different, even when the novelty goes away. And even if it's no longer exciting, which shaving is not exciting to me, it still feels right. And I think I especially appreciate that as a trans man. I can totally see how cis men would just 100% take it for granted and not really think about it. But yeah. So other stuff. Just something interesting, which I've commented on before, but I can emphasize it even more now, is just general size changes of my whole body. And that did happen a lot more in the first year or two, but I've still thought about it because, like this winter, I used some full finger bike gloves that I hadn't used or hadn't used much, at least for a couple of years or more, and they are too small and uncomfortable. So my advice is for people who are early in transition or who are going to transition in the future, like, try not to get anything new that you wear on your body of any kind, if possible, because it could be likely that it will not last you very long once you transition. Like I said before, my head took on more mass, and so my fitted hats or like a bike helmet did not work for me anymore. My feet took on more mass, so some shoes did not work for me anymore. Gloves, of course, shirts. I went up like 1.5 shirt sizes. Um, Pants. I already told you guys my butt and legs took on more muscle mass, so pants didn't fit anymore. And now, on an unrelated note to transition, with the pandemic, I have gained probably a little bit over 15 pounds, which seems to be purely due to my significant increase in eating desserts, which is purely due to stress and depression related to the pandemic and pandemic lifestyle. So there's that. But yeah, so the transition related size increase, if you're past the age at which you would naturally grow, like past your teens or 18 or 20, your bones, they're not going to gain length. So I don't think my bones grew. It's just like muscle and like flesh, basically. And you think there's no muscle in your head, but there is some. I mean, there are muscles, not big muscles, but it's sort of like lined with muscles, and even just a little bit can mean that a hat won't fit. Same with hands. Speaking of hands, I feel like over time my hands and feet continue to look more masculine, so that feels good. and I can still a little chilled, but I can manage to take off some stuff, strip down, and give you a little like top surgery and body hair update, which just sounds so weird for me now that I haven't been watching trans people's videos and haven't done any, so it feels weird, but I will do it. So, I feel like my chest, in terms of the scars, probably looks pretty much the same as a year ago. But I do have chest hair that can be seen by the naked eye, which I'm very excited about, and that feels really good. So I am excited to get more so now that I've had a taste of what it's like. And that like tummy hair continues to increase over time, and I feel good about it. It's like before I had much facial hair or body hair, I wasn't like that into, or I didn't have a specific desire to have more. I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm fine with what I have. But as I have more, it feels good. So I'm definitely happy about having more, and I do hope to have more. Let's see, other things. Oh, I guess I didn't really say anything about how I feel about balding. Like, it does make me a little trepidatious, but I don't know. I'm not, like, super stressed about it. It feels somewhat natural to me, you know, and beyond just an intellectual level. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Let's see. Energy. At the beginning of my transition, you know, I talked about how I had a lot of energy to do like physical stuff, and it kind of in a teenage kind of way, and I don't anymore. Just have 38-year-old energy. So I guess aside from that, it's pretty much life stuff. I can just say that real briefly. I guess maybe this is partly age, partly experience, or just personal evolution. I'm feeling a little more conservative these days, not politically, but simply about how much I share publicly on the internet. So I'm not going to get quite as personal with some physical stuff, like for instance, sex-related stuff, or just other life stuff. So, but anyway, life update. I'm doing pretty well as can be had during the pandemic. I moved out of my mom's house since I finished school last spring. I finished my associate's degree in geographic information systems, and so I feel like the pandemic was probably a big like instigator in me moving out of my mom's house, because I have had a girlfriend for quite a while now, and I'm kind of intertwining all of my life updates into one web. So I have had close contact with her for most of the time during the pandemic, and we've been super careful in terms of that, but ultimately it was better for me to not be also having contact every day with my mom for her safety and you know, everybody's. So I got my own place, a studio, which I'm super happy about. It's very peaceful and cozy and pretty big for a studio, so I'm very lucky. And I can, thankfully, thank God, afford it because I did get a full-time job this last fall, you know, a few months ago, fall, doing GIS, Geographic Information Systems. So I'm so thankful and so happy about that. I know so many people have lost their jobs during the pandemic, and I really feel for those people. And so I just feel very thankful that I got this job, and it's going well, and things with my girlfriend are going well, and I am, yeah, just so happy and thankful for her. And yeah, and I've still been meditating. My Buddhist practice has dropped off a little bit just because it's been tough without having the in-person community. I mean, there's stuff on Zoom, but it's not quite the same, so I've lost a little bit of motivation, but still there. And let's see. Those are kind of the main things. Just another word or two about my girlfriend. So she doesn't really like label herself very specifically as a particular sexual orientation, but she's only been in relationships or dated cisgender men in the past, and but she's very into me, and like yeah, the dynamic and attraction and everything has been really great for us. Like it's worked well. We're a good match, obviously. And as I've gotten closer with her, more of my gender dysphoria came up. I think just as I kind of got more vulnerable, and so she's been very reassuring, and she's been totally accepting and has really heard me, like when I express my dysphoria and like say like, well, what do you think about the fact that my hands and feet are smaller than they would be if I were a cisgender man of the same height? Just to mention one little example. We got deeper than that, but she's like, well, you know, to be totally honest, I truly didn't like notice that or think about that, or like that's not a thing at all for me. And that's what she said. And so that was interesting and really cool to hear. Like her experience of my gender and my body is a bit different from my experience of it, because I'm so conscious of the aspects of my body that give me dysphoria, but it's not like that to her. She just sees me as me, and she's into me, and that's that. So yeah, so anyway, I'm just so thankful to have her, especially during the pandemic, because yeah, I know a lot of people have been very lonely. And I've been kind of lonely too in terms of friends. At this point, I'm kind of down to one friend that I have much to do with. That's who I was just hanging out with and freezing. Anyway, that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, I tend to be pretty busy with work and just with self-care stuff, trying to de-stress and everything, so I'm not sure how much time I'll have to reply to comments, but I'll try. And I hope you all are well, and thank you for watching. Bye.